Weiss, board game concierge here at 401 Games, and this is your video smorgasbord for the week. The game we're going to look at is Caylus1303, designed by William Attia and published by Space Cowboys. So here's a conundrum. What's Attia been doing since 2013? That's the year his last game, Spirium, hit the shelves, and it didn't exactly set the world on fire. It's possible he spent the last 6 years working his 2005 hit Caylus, which won 17 awards, including the Spiel des Jahres complex game category. Currently, it sits outside the top 50 on Board Game Geek, not bad for a 15-year-old game. Now, I played a ton of Caylus when it came out, both face-to-face and online, at the German board game portal Brettspielwelt and on the excellent iOS app, which is still available on the Apple Store, by the way. But eventually, I felt it got played out, and I sold it. The only randomness in Caylus is the order of the initial buildings, and in most cases, that didn't matter a whole lot. So gameplay got stale and predictable, and the state of the art of game design moved on. So the questions are, 1, if you own or owned the original, should you give this a try? And 2, if you don't know anything about the original, should you try it? And I think the answer to both questions is yes. Let's take a closer look and see why. In Caylus1303, like the original, you and up to 4 opponents are medieval lords, vying for the most prestige, helping the king to build Castle Caylus. You do that by constructing buildings and monuments and delivering sets of goods to the castle. Now, Caylus was one of the first games which emphasized worker placement. It came out 2 years before Agricola, and that mechanic still forms the core of the new version. On your turn, you either place one of your guys on a building laying claim to that action, or you pass completely out of the round. Once everyone's passed, the buildings are activated from the beginning of the road all the way up until you get to this little horsey here, which is called the provost. So any buildings after the provost are not going to be activated. So moving or not moving the provost still provides plenty of interesting choices and potential for dick moves. So you can see here that Caylus still has the same winding road up the side of the hill to the castle, and it's still got the initial buildings which are randomly determined. But it doesn't have any more pre-printed buildings. So at the beginning of the game, you're going to choose one wooden building and flip it over and put it here for its special action. And you're going to choose one stone building and flip it over here for its special action. And then you're going to choose one setup building, one wooden building, and one stone building here for the glory track, which I'll talk about in a bit. So that means that not only does the game have a lot of variability, but also, because there are only 9 rounds, it doesn't drag on forever, because the original Caylus went until the entire castle was built. The original Caylus also had a complex system of favors, which could result in some pretty devastating combos when used correctly. On the original board was a 5-row favor track, and players earned favors a bunch of different ways. That's all gone now, as you can see. And honestly, I don't miss it. There's only a couple of ways to earn favors, and there's only 2 ways to spend it. You either take a special action from the top, depending on what round it is, and you take a character card, or you steal someone else's character card. And these cards, they're tiles actually, they give players special bonus abilities. Each player starts with one, but they move around a lot during the game, and they make things a lot more difficult to predict. It's still way less complicated than the old favor system, and a lot more variable. Also, Attia figured out ingeniously how to eliminate money as a resource in the game entirely, because now everything is in terms of workers. So you can keep taking actions as long as you use workers, and at the end of every turn, you get a certain number of workers back. But if you run out of workers, then you can't take any actions and have to spend at least 1 round building up your pool again. All in all, I think Caylus1303 not only improves on the original, I think it stands up very well with current designs. It's got great player interaction, it's got a lot of variability, and plenty of paths to victory. Right now, the slew of super heavy games like Black Angel and On Mars aren't for everyone. Caylus1303 provides plenty of challenge without the steep learning curve of those dreadnoughts. You can click on the link below to order your copy of Caylus1303. And this is your board game concierge, David Weiss for 401 Games, saying thanks for watching. Ciao.